Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, I wanted to kind of just talk on the aftermath of all the hate that I've gone through throughout my career as a content creator. But yeah, for those that are new to my channel, new to my podcast, and you don't really know too much about me, yeah, for 10 years now, 10 years and a month, I have been dealing with one particular audience where it's like, fam, you think that at some point in time you guys will move on. Like, it's to keep going on and on and on about the same old, same old. And it's just, there's nothing new. Like, you guys are trying to, I guess, like, rerun the old episodes, but as new content. Like, fam, nobody cares about that. You guys, the funny thing is that that's all that they have on me is stuff that they were talking about years ago. But I guess, like, anything recently, yeah, it's just, there's nothing that they can't say about me versus them. There's a lot that could be said about them. So that's why I never really had took them seriously. I never really looked at them as a threat. And I'm like, okay, first few years, all right, like something bad could come out of this. But after some time done went by, then it's like, all these things done happened with you guys. And then very less, if not nothing at all, has happened with me. Then it's like, okay, how am I the bad guy? You guys is out here. This is how I look at it. Back in 2020, to me, that was a fresh start. That was a fresh start as a content creator. I'm creating channels. I'm improving my content. I got into streaming. I did everything possible. I released music. I did everything possible to showcase myself as a content creator. You guys, on the other hand, like that's all that you'll be known as is TMossBoss haters. Like and I feel like that's low. I'm not really a big content creator, but to have haters already and then you guys being a part of it, yeah, that's pretty low. That's one of those things where I'm like, I don't know what could be lower than that. Like, at least, like, with big content creators, when they have haters, some of them might gain a little success off of it. What are you gonna gain as being a TMossBoss hater? Like, what kind of success can you gain off of that? So. But yeah, overall, outside of them, though, I feel like I talk about them a lot. Just even talking on the other dramas and hate that I've been a part of. It's one of those things that I look at and I'm like, most people would quit. Most people, and they see themselves dealing with that much drama. I mean, when I had got into it with, and I had to say that was like the first time where I really had dealt with somebody that had a much more bigger audience than I did. But there was this racist YouTuber named Minnesota Boy. He was doing these racist rants about white people. He was a black content creator, and that was his whole reason of being upset with me. So, like, if I could just go into detail on all the different times like I've gotten into it with people, and then they sent their fans off after me. So the first guy that I got into it with, he sent his fans after me because he was spamming another YouTuber's comment sections promoting his content, and he got upset because I called him out on it. Minnesota Boy, he got mad at me because he wanted me to be racist with him. And I'm like, fam, I don't have a reason to be racist. White people ain't dead. Yeah, there's some racist white people that has done stuff to me, but like friends of mine, people that I worked with, what else? Like peers that I have on content creating, they ain't did nothing to me. And if they have, then it's like, okay, I'll check them on it. But other than that, it's like, fam, if there's a person that I am friends with that is white, and they ain't said nothing racist, they ain't did nothing racist to me, I'm not going to be like, oh, I now gotta be racist, to you because some random guy on the internet told me to. And that's one thing that I will say that I've noticed throughout the times that I've gotten into it with people, besides one audience, but now I'll talk on that drama in a moment. But anyways, everybody that I've gotten into it with, where they use their audience rather than just getting into, I guess fighting their own battles, they'll have their audience fight their battles, is that there's no, I guess, like backbone. There's no way for them, like, I guess for somebody to look at the drama and then just have their own, I guess, like mindset on it and stuff. Like, they're relying on, and with me, and I'm like, I guess, like, with my fans, they see my dramas, they see all that. I think that they can watch my videos and see that I know how to handle myself in an argument. I know how to handle myself in a video. there's no reason to jump to my defense, whether I do have an audience or I don't. I've been on both ends where I've been felt like I was on top of the world when it came to content creating. And then I've been at my lowest of the lowest when it comes to content creating. And both times I'm like, I don't need people to fight my battles. I would rather just fight my own battles. At least then it's like I can take the wounds and the damage and all that stuff. Like then that's the thing. And that's what I guess like with my content, my entertaining content is a little bit more engaging than the content where I'm talking about drama. Talking about drama, I feel like that, for one, that's old. Like, I was thinking that the other day. I was recording a video. I was talking on that weird guy that I've been talking about recently on Twitter, where I was thinking that, and I'm like, this is so old. Like, going back and forth with people on the internet. Like, I got to thinking, I'm like, fam, am I in the year 2026 or 2016? Like, some years back, getting into it with people, drama, all that stuff, that was, I guess, like, and that's probably why a lot of times people be wanting to get into it with me, because they think that they can gain some views off of it. And I'm like, bro, nobody is watching that. Like, that's the thing that I don't think you're understanding. What the internet is right now, we're not in that phase of drama is popular. Drama is, this is the content that people are looking for. Unless it's two big content creators where it's like, okay, we never expected them to go back and forth, that even then still, it's like, okay, it's a lot of content creators, I feel like, because you see where a lot of like new content creators, where it's like people that are, possibly could be like from like their late teens, early 20s. There's a lot of them on the internet. So they don't really have time to be going back and forth with people. And then on top of that too, it's like a lot of times people be wanting to do content with their friends. Now, if a friend group has a falling out, then I'm like, okay, they ain't no different than somebody without the cameras, the microphones, and the YouTube channels. That's the same exact thing. So, I feel like I need to just kind of sit down and explain that drama nowadays is just pointless. It's like the stuff that we see people arguing about, we see that on a day-to-day basis. Yeah, without the, content creating equipment and stuff. So that's why I'm like, just thinking about that the other day, I'm like, this is boring, like going back and forth with people. Like, this isn't entertaining. This isn't, getting me to, a closer point in my content creating career where I could be, happy on where I'm at. Like, I'm not happy when I'm sitting around doing videos talking about some random person on the internet, and it's like, we don't know each other. There ain't even no reason to be talking about this person. Their 15 minutes of fame was up hours ago and stuff. So yeah, that's why I'm like, now I'm kind of just in a mindset where I'm like, I think that this is the mindset that I need to have about drama going forward, is that it's old, like there ain't nothing new or nothing to talk about. Like, there isn't no, and I mean, like, there are going to be at times, where I do re-explore dramas and stuff, and, just kind of give you guys a little bit of a story time, or even talk on some other dramas and stuff, and just kind of talk, or some story times about that. But other than that, I'm like, fam, it just, I guess, like, if there's some information, or, because I know that is actually something that I wanted to do, is just kind of do like a line of content or series where I do talk on old dramas from years ago. I guess, like, for somebody that just recently got into content creating, and you might see some stuff and you're like, wait a minute, what was up with all of this some years back? So, and I'm pretty sure content like that already exists, but I just wanted to kind of do my own version of it and stuff. But yeah, overall though, I'm like, drama today, it's just, it's pointless. You ain't gonna get nowhere with it. And I'm, and I guess, like, just talking on my own dramas, from the first guy, Minnesota boy, and then, getting into it with, with the community that I got into it with, the Thomas the Tank Engine community, that wasn't something that I guess, like, wanted to do. Like, I didn't want to get into no beef with them, but it was because of somebody in their fan base. And I think that when they had that understanding, that that community, the Thomas the Tank Engine community, they realized, like, oh, TMossBoss, he's a victim just like us. Like, we don't like this guy either. So yeah, I think it was just one of those things where that community I believe they did run him off the internet, because I think once when people started getting an idea of that guy, he's the reason why I had even talked about them in the first place, that they was all like, fam, you're putting a bad image out for us and stuff. We ain't trying to have this. And because so what had happened with that situation, so the YouTuber, I can't really call him a YouTuber, but it was this guy on the internet named Glenn, where he just really had it out for me. It's like, I don't know why I always get the stalkers when, and it's like, man, I like those days where it's like a person just leave a hate comment and then they just go on about their business. Like, that was some years back. Nowadays it's like you got people where they just want to linger, and it's like, what are you lingering for? Like, why are you here? What reasons do you have to check my socials every day and see what I'm doing and all of that? I don't want to be bothered with you. I don't understand why a hater can't understand that when a person doesn't want to be bothered, and it's like they just still keep going and going, and it's like, bro, all right, if you find yourself in a situation where it's like, okay, now you're being harassed, and that's what ended up happening to that Glenn kid. I remember people started picking up and seeing that he was a problem, and then they just started going after him, and then next thing you know, this kid all up on the internet crying. And I remember people were trying to like make me feel bad about that. I'm like, I don't feel bad. I'm like, when you give a person numerous warnings and tell them like, okay, go on about your business, you said what you need to say, get out of here, quit coming back to my channel, and you still keep coming back, yeah, bro, I don't care if you post a video of yourself crying, talking about, because that's what he did. He posted a video, he was like, he wanted my fans to leave him alone. And if he was expecting me to tell him no, I'm like, no, I'm not. You put yourself in that situation. I told you numerous times, go on about your business. If you get to a point where you hear that, and then instead of going on about your business, now you want to threaten my friends, and my friends ain't did nothing to you, it's one of those things, people have said it with me. It's out of my hands at this point. Whatever my fans do, they do. So I never have felt bad about. I don't think any of the things that I have ever said in any of the dramas that I've been a part of, I've never felt bad about it. Like I will admit there were some actions that I had did throughout my dramas, but for the most part, anything that I said, I don't regret it. I don't take back none of the stuff that I've said, because the thing is this. People like to talk crazy on the internet. That's one thing that I've learned, is that people like to talk crazy, and then when you talk crazy back to them, they want to feel all offended, because I guess they're trying to use it against you. They're like, oh, it's like they're trying to like make me feel a certain way, and I'm like, okay, I'm not on your channel, you're on mine. So it's kind of like one of those things, when you're in a person's house or you're in a place of business, you start talking crazy, you can't be surprised. Because I see that like with videos where it'd be like restaurant employees, for an example, where a customer comes in there, be acting all entitled, talk crazy to the workers say something back, and they're all like, oh, where's your manager? How dare you talk to me like that? And it's like, you came into my place of business acting crazy, and so I'm supposed to just take that. I'm supposed to just accept that. And it might even be on some stuff, same situation, where it's like you talk crazy to one of my employees, and I'm like, fam, I can't have that. And I just working in the food industry, there have been times like where customers, they came up, complained to me about other people that I had worked with, and there's stuff where I was like, it was silly at times. Like the two times I do remember where some customers, they came up to me and said some old silly stuff. So the one girl, and I'm like thinking to myself, do you want her to look deranged? Like, what do you want her to look like? But the customer, he came up to me and was all like, you need to tell your cook to smile more. For one, I'm a cashier. I don't have no management or supervisor position, but I'm thinking to myself, I'm front of the house. I'm in my own little world when it comes to this job. Like, I can't cross over into another world and tell them how to start living and stuff. But yeah, I did tell her, I was like, but I told her in a joking way. I'm like, no, you look angry, deranged, crazy, however you want to look. That is your face. You got that God-given rights to look however you want to look. I'm not going to control how you look and things. But yeah, I'll never forget when that customer, he said that. He was like, he came up to me like, oh yeah, she needs to smile more. And I don't even think, I wonder, when did that movie Smile come out? I think that movie, did that come out after? I feel like that might have came out. Yeah, that came out after the like pandemic and all that stuff. Because I was gonna say, I was like, yeah, look like them characters from that movie. And like, just every time that guy come in, just smile, just stare at him and just smile. And so yeah, I was like, yeah, there's that times I'm like, customers at that job, then the second time, the customer, so we had this salad bar area. Salad bar areas don't have lines. I guess like if you are moving along, like if there's somebody there and then you're just kind of like, y'all are getting the same items, then okay, then I guess like a line might form up. But other than that, if you walk up to an area, like let's say you want to get some romaine lettuce or something. The romaine lettuce is on the left side of the salad bar, and then most people, I guess, like they'll just kind of like move along, depending on how it's set up and things. They'll move like I guess from left to right and things. If let's say you wanted to, because that's how it actually was set up. So like lettuce was on the side, on the left side, and then they had like the dressings on the very end of the salad bar area. So I remember it was, and he was the supervisor. My friend was the supervisor, so I definitely couldn't have told, because he was a cashier, but he had a higher position. So I'm like, how do I look like telling him that? Because I feel like I'm just kind of jumping the gun. I'm going all over the place. So the customer comes up to me and says that your employee, the other cashier that be standing up here, he cut me in line. So I'm thinking to myself, because we had multiple areas at that cafe. So I'm thinking she's talking about the hot food area. She was talking about the salad bar. And I'm thinking to myself, there's no line at the salad bar. You just walk up and grab whatever it is that you want to grab. Like, let's say if you have a salad from home, you're all the way at the other end getting some romaine lettuce, and you sitting around thinking, debating on what next things you want to add. And then I'm trying to get some dressings. I'm not going to wait behind you so I could get the dressing. I'm going to walk up and get whatever dressings that I need. So yeah, she said that. And once when she did say it was the salad bar area, I wish I could have captured my facial expression, because I went from like shock to like, he don't do that. He don't act like that. And I ain't never seen them have an interaction before. So I'm like, dang, I am going to have to talk to him about that. But I'm like, but he's a supervisor though. Like what could I possibly say? Once when she said it was a salad area, my facial expression went from like shock to, oh, that okay, yeah, I guess I'll have a conversation. And again, joking with him, I'm like, next time I'm like, even though you're a supervisor and I'm a cashier and you have a higher position than I am, I'll fire you. Like it's what am I realistically though? What am I supposed to do in that situation? So yeah, it's like that's one thing that I will say, is that there are a lot of people out there, I think they just like to hear themselves talk. And I think that, just with the dramas that I've been a part of, a lot of the people, because even with the Thomas the Tank Engine drama, like there were people, and I think there are still people within that community that still has it out for me and stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I explained what I needed to explain. If you're still doing content, I guess, relating to that, like what I said back before in the past, again, that's like trying to, replay reruns of a TV show as new episodes. We already seen it. What new things can you provide to the table? That's what I would like to see, And every time that I've said that, it just seems like it goes in one ear and out the other. Like, people don't pay attention to that. Like, I'll make valid points. I'll say good things, and yeah, it's just people out there, they're like, nope, we're just going to keep saying the same old, because we can't think of nothing else to say. So yeah, that's why I'm like, yeah, at this point now, I'm like, with drama, it's just dead to me. I don't really see a point of getting into dramas, reigniting dramas, like, I guess adding more to dramas and stuff. Like, I have to say, like, maybe if it's a conversation, I guess, then, but I'm like, if it's going to be one of those conversations where a person is going to just want to dominate the conversation and I'm not allowed to have a say-so, defend myself or whatever. Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm like, there ain't going to be no like, okay, you see my point and I see yours, because if that, or you see my point and I see your point, that never happens in dramas. Everybody wants to be right, and so that's why I'm like, yeah, bro, drama at this point to me is just dead. I'm like, there ain't no reason to continue on. Like I said, I'll probably just, explore stories, tell my own situations, give advice out there to people if they are dealing with their own dramas. And if you are, I'm like, yeah, feel free to comment, your drama down below. Whether it is some content creating stuff, or maybe you might be working with some people at your job outside of content creating where it's like, yeah, you need some advice. You need some help on dealing with this drama. But I have to say, the one bit of advice that I can give out is just to ignore the people that are, engaging in the drama and stuff, or I guess like trying to start up some drama. Ignore those people. I'm like, you ignore them. Trust me, you'll go far and beyond with ignoring people. So, but yeah, ignoring and showing no emotion. So, but anyways, with that being said, I'll talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service. And peace.